Zoom session, so I can post it after we go through it.
All right.
All right, so we have to read the article, and then there's 14 questions underneath. Some of them are easy, some of them are hard. And so all the answers are in the article. So I'm going to go down, look at the questions first, and then we can answer them. How does a normal body respond when it senses that glucose levels in the bloodstream are increasing? How does insulin affect the blood glucose levels? What mechanism does it act by? What causes type 1 diabetes? How does this affect the body? What causes type 2 diabetes? What are 3 symptoms of type 2 diabetes? How can the liver make the situation worse with type 2 diabetes? That's not good. Why does the liver respond this way? Which type of diabetes is most likely to be influenced by dietary changes? And then there's these review questions. So again, we're on Wednesday, December 9th, tomorrow's work. Complete 4.2, lesson 2A, diabetes type 1 versus type 2 assignment. You click on that, then click on my documents. Are all 4 of you in there?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to minimize your photos so they don't show up on the record. And so diabetes is a non-infectious disease in which the body is unable to control the amount of sugar in the blood. People with diabetes have high blood sugar either because their bodies do not produce enough insulin or because their cells do not respond to insulin. Insulin, a hormone, is a hormone that helps cells take up sugar from blood. Without enough insulin, the blood contains too much sugar, sorry. This can damage blood vessels and other cells throughout the body. The kidneys work hard to filter out and remove some of the extra sugar. This leads to frequent urination and excessive thirst. And like I told the story today in my classes that I had a cat with diabetes and he used to pee all over the place. It was awful. All right. So number 1, we could watch that YouTube to answer this question, but I'm going to answer it. How does a normal body respond when it senses that glucose levels in the bloodstream are increasing? The pancreas releases insulin. Pancreas releases insulin for number 1. Number 2, how does insulin affect blood glucose levels? Insulin lowers blood glucose levels by allowing glucose into cells.
Can you repeat that?
Yep. Insulin lowers blood glucose levels by allowing it into cells. Okay. The other thing, what mechanism does it act by? It acts by negative feedback. It's called negative feedback because it's trying to reduce the effect of blood glucose levels.
Wait, can you spell that?
Negative?
Oh, I thought you said something. That was my fault.
All right, no problem. All right. What causes type 1 diabetes? That is probably in that video. But type 1 diabetes occurs when the immune system attacks normal cells of the pancreas. So I scrolled up there. It's in this paragraph. Since the cells in the pancreas are damaged, the pancreas cannot make insulin. Since the cells in the pancreas are damaged, the pancreas cannot make insulin. All right. So, how does this affect the body? Number 5. That is actually down a little farther. They have frequent urination. They feel thirsty. They feel hungry. Extreme fatigue. They have weight loss.
Can you repeat that?
Yeah, it's in a bullet section. They have frequent urination. They feel thirsty. They feel hungry. There's extreme fatigue. Then there's weight loss, blurry vision even, and cuts or bruises are slow to heal. And since cuts or bruises are slow to heal, they're prone to infection. So that's one of the ways we find out, like a child has type 1 diabetes. They start exhibiting these symptoms, and we take them to the doctors, and they probably do an iron test. The iron's fine. They do a blood glucose test. They're like, oh, your blood glucose is low. So that's 1 through 5. Does anybody have any questions on 1 through 5?
No.
All right. What causes type 2 diabetes? So that is more dietary. Type 2 diabetes occurs when the body cells are no longer sensitive to insulin. Type 2 diabetes occurs when body cells are no longer sensitive to insulin. The pancreas may still make insulin, but the cells of the body cannot use it efficiently. Pancreas may still make insulin, but the cells of the body cannot use it efficiently.
So the glucose cells can't use it efficiently?
Right, the body cells cannot use it efficiently. So there's just too much in the system, basically. We'll get to that in a second. So what are 3 symptoms of type 2 diabetes? 3 symptoms of type 2 diabetes would be frequent urination, tingling, pain, or numbness in the hands or feet, and feeling very thirsty.
Tingling in the feet?
In the feet, yeah. Because the circulation in their toes and feet is not good because they have too much glucose in their bloodstream. So they're having poor circulation. That's another symptom, poor circulation. So this YouTube video explains how the liver, and explains this all in much more detail. So I'm going to Google that real quick. How can the liver make diabetes worse? Type 2 diabetes worse. I have an idea. It might be the glucagon. Glucagon is another hormone. So one of the liver's many jobs is regulating blood sugar, but fat in the liver makes that organ less responsive to insulin, leaving too much glucose in the blood. So type 2, the liver can leave more glucose in the blood for number 8. Why does the liver respond this way? According to this research, fat in the liver makes the organ less responsive to insulin. So that's why we have to watch our diet.
I'm confused. What number are we on?
I just did 8 and 9. 8, how can the liver make the situation worse with type 2 diabetes? The liver can leave too much glucose in the blood, period. 9, why does the liver respond this way?
I'm sorry. I'm having trouble hearing you because the sound is being, like, it's cutting you off.
All right, so why doesn't everybody mute? All right, cool. So 8, the liver, and for number 8, the liver makes the situation worse because it leaves too much glucose in the blood. And 9, why does the liver respond this way? According to this research, if there's fat in the liver, the fat makes the organ less responsive to insulin. Fat in the liver makes the organ less responsive to insulin. So, what type of diabetes is most likely to be influenced by dietary changes? Type 2 diabetes. Okay. Does anybody have a question on 1 through 10?
I
No.
have a question for 8 again because it's really cutting out for some reason. So can you just type it in the chat?
Sure.
And then also 10. No, not 10. Actually, yeah, 8, 9, and 10 I didn't get.
All right. That might be on your end because I haven't had problems with sound all day. All right.
Yeah, that's my end.
8, the liver leaves glucose in the blood. 9, fat in the liver makes the liver less responsive to insulin. And 10, type 2 diabetes is more responsive to dietary changes. It's diet probably is causing that. All right. So, I'm going to go through the review in a minute. Number 1, the answer to number 1, what is diabetes? That's in the first sentence. Diabetes is a non-infectious disease which the body is unable to control the amount of sugar in the blood. That's the first sentence. So I'm going to make a chart for number 2, compare and contrast type 2 diabetes. Open up my Google Docs. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop sharing. I'm going to open a new screen for this to answer number 2. Gotta open up. No, stop it. I want to minimize it. No, it won't let me. All right. So I will share with Google Docs. I will use, oh, there's the whiteboard. Here we go. So hopefully you can see my whiteboard. Can everybody see my whiteboard? Can I get a yeah?
Yeah.
Cool. So we're going to do a Venn diagram. All right. And over here is type 1 diabetes. And you can make a chart, or you can put this in a paragraph. You don't have to do the same thing. Type 2 diabetes. And I guess type 1 is generally in adolescence. I probably spelled that wrong. So we'll say children. And you are born with it. Type 2 is generally develops, okay? So it's generally older people. I guess what's scaring doctors is that some children, both are being seen, oh, come on. Both are being seen in children. Both need to monitor their diet. Okay, now, this type 1 is insulin dependent. So even if they monitor their diet, they're going to have to monitor their insulin every day. All right. What we're going to see with type 2 diabetes is that they're going to start with dietary changes. Exercise. And then maybe insulin. So the approaches are going to be different. The symptoms are going to be the same too. The symptoms can be similar. As well. So that is a concern. That frequent urination, that tiredness. So those are a lot of the similarities and the differences. So the cause here is the child's born with it. But for the type 2, it's really caused more often by age and poor diet. So that's why one of the things we discuss in class is that before 2020, obviously heart disease is a problem, obviously cancer is a problem, the drug epidemic's a problem, violence is a problem, but diabetes type 2 is probably up there in the top 5 medical issues in the United States due to poor diet. So it's probably up in the top 10. So some people would put it top 5. So that was the table. Did everybody get that? Anybody have any questions on it?
No.
Okay. Juju, you good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Holly, you good?
I'm good.
Hey, you're good?
Yeah.
All right. So that's excellent. We're almost done. There's grades. We don't want that to be shown. Let me go back into that lesson. So, the third review question is what can increase your risk of developing type 2 diabetes? Poor diet, high in carbohydrates can increase the risks, as well as a high fat diet of being overweight. So it's actually this sentence right here. More young people are becoming overweight due to high sugar and a fat diet. That is the problem. A diet high in sugar and fat, being overweight, causes a risk of developing type 2 diabetes. And so the common symptoms, again, are frequent urination, feeling very thirsty, and feeling hungry even though you're eating. Again, frequent urination, feeling very thirsty, and feeling very hungry even though you're eating. Because your body's cells aren't getting the carbohydrates they need. Because the body either does not have enough insulin or is insulin resistant. And that was the assignment for tomorrow.
All right.
So I'm going to stop recording there, if I know how to. Stop recording.